ASMR LadyLucidity Art. Hello there, my lovelies. For today's video, I'm going to be using a simple painting technique to create a landscape picture. So for this make, I'm using a mixture of different paints, and they are all going to be within the range of green is the plan. So before I start, make sure I tie my hair up. I don't want it getting in any of the paint. Good start. So you can probably see that I have prepped my canvas and I have my background lines. So this is going to be a layered piece, and I'm using blocks of colour to create a fading effect in distance, which you'll be able to see once I start to build up the colours. So my mountain scene is going to have between 3 to 4 layers. So I'm using quite a lot of paint and it's very thick. I'm using a flat brush, as you can see, just so I can get nice crisp angles on my lines, and I can use it later on to touch up any areas that I need to. So let's just fill in this bit here. Okay, I'm making sure I go back over my lines and fill them in, make sure everything is nice and smooth. I find painting really relaxing, and I don't get anywhere near as much time as I'd like to do full-scale paintings. But as I said, it does relax me a lot. It's very calming and soothing, I find. So do let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. And I may do more painting videos if I can. So this is a very simple piece to do, and if you want to create your own at home, it's very simple. All you need is a canvas of any size. I'm using a long landscape one because I feel it's more effective visually, but you can use any size or shape you like. You can even do miniature versions of these paintings. And then you'll need to pick a colour. This works best with just one colour. You could use 2, but I find just using one with different tones works very well for this piece. So pick your colour, and then you'll want to work from dark to light. So for my first layer, obviously I've gone for this deep bottle sort of forest green colour, and then you'll see as I move up the layers it does change quite a bit. I did add a little bit of blue into the mix, so you can just add white to lighten your shade, or you can do what I did and add a little bit of different colours just to give it a slight different tint. Okay, so we're just coming down to the end here now, and you don't have to really be neat as such. about how your mountains look, because we're going for something that's natural looking. So, on to my next layer. So, slightly lighter green. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but it's actually quite a lot lighter than the bottom one, but it might not pick it up. So again, I am using a flat brush, slightly smaller this time, to try and get into the fiddly parts of the painting. And we're just going to work on our lines for this layer. Okay, down, give it a wiggle. I do that a lot. You'll notice as I'm drawing my lines, I do wiggle the brush, and that gives me the natural outline I want, and it keeps it nice and crisp as well. Okay. Another tip I would give you guys is, if you feel your paint is not flowing very well and you can't seem to get your lines that crisp, I would highly recommend using a fluid or mixing medium, and that basically changes the consistency of your paint. So you can mix a little bit in, it doesn't take much, and it will make your paint flow much easier. So, pro tip there. Okay. Swish, swish. Okay, just move along to the top. So here I'm actually going outside my guideline because I wanted to add some higher peaks to this layer. So you can cheat a little bit. Okay, just brushing very gently, smoothing out any lumps in the paint. Just glide it down. Okay, let's smooth that line out there. Okay, beautiful. Swish, 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 swish. Depending on how thick your paint is, you might have to do a couple of layers for each. So always make sure you let your previous layer dry properly before applying the next one. Otherwise it can lead to smudging, which, if you're going for that look, that's fine, but for this piece we want nice lines. Okay, so I'm actually using my paintbrush more as a pencil, the way I'm holding it at the moment, to get into those fiddly areas. Okay, and up we go. Wiggle, wiggle. So you can see it starting to come into life a little bit. Now, for the sky, I left it white and crisp, but you can always colour your sky. I would recommend a wash of colour, something very light, definitely not too heavy, so it balances out your foreground. So the way this technique works is it's actually challenging your eye's perspective, So you'll see in the finished piece, it gives the illusion of many layers and distance for your background using only flat colour. So, like I said, really simple to do, but very effective if you're looking to just pop a bit of colour into your home. Okay, excuse my mucky artist hands. So this is the lightest colour going on now. So for this one I actually added a tiny bit of yellow in with my white. Okay. And I'm using the smallest angle brush that I have, just to get those crisp edges at the top. Okay. So it's more like drawing line art at this stage, doing your outlines and then filling in the gap. Okay. There we go, just shade it in a bit. And adding a little bit above the line that I drew in, which is fine. Being very careful not to go over the lines of the last layer I did. Okay. Just carefully filling it in. Swish, 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 swish. You can see the level of concentration on my face. So this little bit here is very easy, just to fill in like you're filling in a colouring book, almost. So I'm just leaving those edges to dry and I can fill them in a little bit. And I'm just going to start on this section to the left. And again, using the bristles of the angled part of my brush to give the lines. Occasionally you'll see me step back from the painting. It's always good, I say, to take a step back once in a while, see how your painting is progressing, and if there's any areas you're not happy with or you need to touch up, then that's a good stage to judge it at. Okay. Just shade that in there. Okay. Grab some more paint and start shading in this corner here. Just very carefully. There we go, so that's that little bit in there done. Okay, so then starting on the right side, getting my lines in, and I can shade them in later. So with this brush you can get a very fine line. As I said, it's almost like drawing, so I do love this little brush. Just making sure I don't go over any of the previous lines. Okay. So again, next layer, a very pale green with a little bit of yellow, brown and white mixed in. And these will be my final mountains. Okay, so just glide over and shade in. You can see from the 3 layers that I've got at the moment that you can see the perspective already. It's already giving that effect of distance, which I really like. Again, you could add some clouds or some birds to your skyline, but I was quite happy leaving it as is. Okay. There we go. Almost done. Fill in this little bit here. There we go. Nice. And I'm just going to add a little guy up here. Again, he wasn't in my drawing, but I'm going to add it anyway because I can. That's the great thing about painting. You can just improvise as you go along. There we are. So he's just poking out between the mountain tops there. And I'm going to add another one just in here. It just gives my painting a bit of balance. So there's a section of each on each side. Okay, so once I've finished painting, these are my added little extras. You guys don't have to do this stage, but I had some of these lying around and I could not resist but use them. So these are just little wooden trees that I got from a craft store, and I thought it would be super cute to just add them as a little extra. Not very realistic, I know, but I thought it gave the painting a bit of quirkiness and something different, so I'm just going to add a few of these to my little scene. Okay. So here's my finished painting slash forest piece. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it looks really great, super effective, and I would love to do a series of these in different colours. But let me know what you guys think, if you'd like me to do more videos like this one. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye guys.